So you want to learn how to be more productive. There is no success without productivity. In this week's episode, I'm going to give you some of my best tips when it comes to getting more done in a shorter amount of time. This is real life success. So, in order for you to have productivity, the first thing I need you to do is subscribe to this channel. See? Seriously. In order for you to get maximum productivity, here's what I need you to do. I need you to understand that being productive is not about doing everything. It's not about getting everything done in a day. It's about getting the right things done in a day. Let's rewind that. Having maximum productivity is not about doing everything in a day, because guess what? You don't have enough time to get everything done in a day. See, y'all thought I had some magic pill in this. The most productive people understand it's hard to get everything done in a day. You only have but so many hours in a day. The most productive people understand fundamentally that your productivity is not about doing everything, it's about doing the right things in a day. So let me show you the difference, right? There's a big difference between a person who wants to get everything done versus the person that wants to get the right things done. So here's the everything person. The everything person is the type of person that's going to have a million things to do. What's going to be the difference between this person and the other person, right? The right person. Let's call this the right person. The right person is only going to focus on one thing to do. Now, wow, isn't that a game changer right there? See, the everything person, their mind is already clouded the minute the day starts because they want to conquer the entire earth in one day. The right person understands that his day is a day well spent if he has accomplished the number one most important thing on his schedule. This is the guy you want to be. This is the right person. You want to be the right person, not the everything person. The everything person, what are they going to do? They're going to focus on being busy, right? Being busy. Because the everything person, they're always going from one place to one place to one place to one place. Might not be getting a whole lot done, but they're going to exhaust themselves in routine and activity. Meanwhile, the right person is going to focus on getting results. Right? So while this person is focused on being busy, this person, in other words, two people when they go home at night, right? And you're judging how was the success of your day. The everything person says, I had a great day because I was going here, I was going there, I was traveling this, I was traveling there, I was talking to this person, I was talking to that person. I was in this meeting, I was in that meeting, I was doing this, I was doing that. That's how the everything person judges a day. The right person judges a day by saying, I finished this. I started this. I was able to have this completed. Now I can move on to this. This person is based upon results. They didn't need to go a million places. They didn't need to talk to a million people. It has not, this person's success in a day has nothing to do with how many places they've been, how many people they've talked to, how tired they feel. The only thing that matters to the right person is how much they've accomplished in terms of results. And this is so important because most people are just busy being busy. Most people spend their entire day in back-to-back meetings, talking on the phone, running a billion errands. That's pretty, monotonous. It's not getting your life from one place to another. It's just keeping you in kind of a treadmill existence. That's what a person does when they're the everything person. But this person right here, every single day, maximum impact activity, maximum impact task, maximum energy in the right results, right? Not just any results. This person doesn't pride themselves on how many errands they got accomplished. In fact, the right person focuses on delegating, right? They would delegate an errand. This person would pride themselves in all the things that they could do on their own. This person, I would say, is more so probably a control freak. I'll be honest. Right? This person is the person that feels that anything that has to get done, they have to do it. The right person says, you know what? To make sure I get the right results, to make sure the one thing that's most critical to me, I'm going to delegate everything else to make sure I get this accomplished. And you know the biggest difference between this person and this person? This person will do a million things, and the one thing that they don't do is not one thing that's the most important thing to do. Because you know what happens? Most people that fall into the everything position, they like to do the easiest things first, right? Because they feel like they're getting a lot accomplished. They do the easiest things first. The right person is the exact opposite. They do the hardest things first. Because, for a lot of us, when your day is getting started, you're looking at your to-do list, you have things to get done, but we are so quick to procrastinate. We're so quick to postpone, and we're so quick to take on the easiest of tasks. But guess what? When you wake up in the morning, that's when your willpower is at its highest position. That's when you have the most energy. That's the reason why most people, if they're going to work out, they work out in the morning. It's rare that you find a whole bunch of people working out really late at night, because guess what? By that point, all of your willpower is depleted. That's the reason why you feel the most tired at night. That's the reason why, you're on your worst diet at night. That's why you make your worst decisions at night, because your glycogen stores, your glucose, as well as your energy is depleted. But what will this person do? The everything person says, I got to do a million things. And because I got to do a million things, I can't do the hardest thing. Because if I do the hardest thing, I won't be able to do all the other million things. So what they say is, I'll put the hardest thing off. I'll let that wait. Meanwhile, the right person says, I don't care how easy the tasks are. If they were that easy in the first place, I can always delegate them. Let me focus on the number one thing to do that's going to get me the most results. And that means they have to do the hardest thing first. A lot of times, and it's just kind of like a metaphor of life. A lot of times the things that gets you the most results, or the thing that you want the most, it takes the most work. So that's why the best thing that gets you the most results, it tends to be the hardest thing. These people, they get up and do the hard. They are minimalist in nature. The busy person, they want to do everything. And I'll speak a little bit about that on the next page. The everything person, this person wants to be the jack of all trades. Right? Like, have you ever known somebody that talks about doing one thing one day, and then they have another idea another day, and then they have another idea the following day, and they want to be all of these people in one? They want to be the top chef. They want to be the top musician. They want to be the top ball player. They want to be the top, artist. They want to be the top scholar. They want to be the top bodybuilder. They want to be all of these top positions and roles all in one person. They want to be a jack of all trades. That's why they're the everything person. But then the right person says, you know what? Because of the fact that there's only so much time in a day, 24 hours, I'm going to focus on being remembered only for one thing. Right? So, right now you might still be kind of undecided and you might say, well, you know what? I don't want to just be a one-trick pony. I want to be able to do all of these other things and have a well-rounded life. Okay, that's fine. Well, here's one thing that I want you to do right now. The one thing that I want you to do right now is I want you to think about, some of the world's most successful people. And I want you to think about what they're known for accomplishing. Give you a prime example. When you think about Michael Jordan, if Michael Jordan were to pass away, what would he be known for? Would Michael Jordan be known for cooking? Would he be known for sewing? Would he be known for music? Michael Jordan would be known for playing basketball, right? Even though he played baseball for a certain amount of time, most people would remember the fact that he was the world's greatest basketball player of all time. That was his one thing, right? Or, if you're talking about anybody else, Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett's not going to be known for, how well that he could lift weights or how well he was on the court. He's going to be known for his investing expertise. He's going to be known for being the world's richest man. He's going to be known for his skill in business. That's the one thing, right? If you want to operate at a level of world class, whether it's world class success, world class productivity, this person, the right person, focuses on one thing versus becoming a jack of all trades, right? So again, the essence of productivity is not doing everything, it's doing the right thing. Right now, you have to get clear on which person that you want to be, because these two people operate in totally different ways. Give you another prime example. Let's say that the everything person is being contacted by someone. The everything person will stop exactly what they're doing right in the peak of their performance, and they'll pick up the phone, even if it's not an important phone call. The everything person is always available. And this is how he became the everything person in the first place, because of the fact that he was always so available, he was always distracted in one thing to the next. That's how he took on so many different tasks in so many different areas. But when you think about the right person is often finding himself isolated from distraction. So, when you're looking at these two people's lives play out in the average day, whenever this person is stopping to deal with a million different things, this person is filtering out everything that doesn't have to do with the number one most important thing, maximizing his impact and results. So, this person is more likely to say, you know what? If someone is calling me and I'm in the midst of my work, maybe my phone is on silent, unless it's an emergency. If somebody has contacted me or if I'm focused in my work zone, maybe I'm going to have specific intervals to work and be productive. And then when I take breaks, then I'll use the phone. Or this person might say, I'm so focused, I might put my phone in the other room. I might put my phone on airplane mode. I may only choose windows of time to engage in discussions that deviates from my number one most important thing. So it's no surprise when you look at the behavior of this person on how he's able to accomplish such great things. The differences in how they manage their days are drastic. There's so much science that even proves now that for every one distraction that a person has while they're working, it takes on average anywhere between 15 to 20 minutes to get back on course. So think about that. If you are distracted by a 5-minute conversation, a 5-minute text message, sometimes depending upon the nature of that conversation, you might have been on the phone for 5 minutes, but it might take you 15 to 20 minutes just to revert back to the mode that you previously were, probably about 25 minutes ago. The right person knows this. That's why he compartmentalizes his work and anything extracurricular. See, again, if you're going to be productive in any capacity, you have to understand that there's a difference between the everything person and the right person. The everything person does everything. They major even in minor things. The right person, they major only in the majors. And you know what else they do? They become very clear on what the majors are, right? This person is major oriented, right? This is the type of person where you ask this person, you know what is your top goal for the year? This person will be able to tell you as if he rehearsed it every single day of his life. He can be able to tell it to you in his sleep. You're not going to catch him off guard when you ask him what his top goals are, right? Even if you ask this person, where do you want to be at in 5 years from now? He has somewhat of an idea on the course that he wants to go because he's spending every single day getting to that position. But the everything person, a lot of times they find themselves caught up in a web of so many activities that they're not even sure, somewhat indecisive on what their biggest thing is because it changes from one day to the next, right? One day they're working on this project. The next day that they're working on this project. They're all over the place. There's really no certainty, right? And then there's a favorite Bible scripture that I like to read that says, where there's no vision, the people perish. One of the ways that you can kind of run yourself raggedy is if by you trying to be this everything person is going, but you're not really operating on a roadmap. You're not operating on any type of GPS that says, this is the destination, this is the navigation path to get me there. See, before this person even starts to work, they already know the path. They already know the turns. They already have the GPS. And you know what this person does a lot of times that's different from this person? This person spends more time thinking. This person spends more time working. Now, you might find that kind of crazy because you might say, okay, well, if this person spends more time thinking and this person spends more time working, how is this person able to produce more results than the everything person? There's a famous quote that I am a fan of that says, if you have 8 hours to cut down a tree, spend the first 4 hours sharpening the saw. And that's exactly what the right person does. Because of the fact that they spend a lot of their time thinking in strategy, sharpening their sword, this person is just going straight to work and his tools are dull, right? Because of how mindful this person is about his activities, his or her activities, whenever he gets to work, quick action, quick work, quick results, right? Quick deliverables. But this person, again, they get to work, maybe at a longer period of time than this person, but they find themselves all over the place because they're so indecisive. They're always available for distractions. They're jack of all trades, and everything becomes a 50% effort, right? Everything becomes half-hearted to the person that's spread all over the place. Meanwhile, this person's sitting back thinking strategically, okay, here's what I've been doing. How do I make improvements? How do I make adjustments? Before I just up and get going for the day, what is the plan? What is the number one most important thing that I need to do today? If I get the number one most important thing done, what comes next? What is the top 3 most important things for me to get done in the week? What is the top 3 most important things that I want to get done in my career? What's the top most important things that I want to do for the month? This is the type of thinking that the right person engages in. So that way, whenever they put their energy to any task, they know it's a valuable task. This person just works only to realize that they don't have very serious results. They've been working and working and working and working, and guess what? They realize they've been running in a treadmill existence, right? So that's one of the things that I want you to do. I want you to tell me right now if you are operating as an everything person or if you are operating as a right person, because it really makes a world of difference. Remember, everything that we've gone over. This person wants to do everything. They're a jack of all trades. They're always available. They're all over the place. This person understands that, hey, maybe I might not be, the world's biggest Renaissance man. I might not be able to do a trillion billion things. But the one thing that I can do, this is going to make me world class, while this person is pretty much average at best in anything. This person is going to be the one to go down in history for how good they could do this one thing. Right? That's what you want to think about. Steve Jobs went down in history for his ability to do one thing. Right? Many other ways where he had imperfections. But he went down in history for one thing. Jesus Christ, he went down in history primarily for one thing, one central purpose, one central focus. Like they say, the man that chases two rabbits, oftentimes he catches none. And you don't want to find yourself so busy in distraction, because one other thing that I'm going to give you in this video, and I won't overwhelm it, I'll just make this a basic productivity one-on-one video. There's no such thing as multitasking, right? So when you examine the mind, and I've done videos before talking about making neural pathways and the importance of having a strong brain as it leads to strong success. Did you know that anytime somebody tries to engage in what's known as multitasking, they actually have a worse cognitive state than someone that's high on weed? Did you know that? Studies actually show that when someone is quote unquote multitasking, doing two or more things at once, their cognitive state is more impaired than somebody that's high. So anytime you are trying to be the everything person and you're doing all of these billion things at once, guess what? You're actually damaging your brain, because the way that your brain was wired, we were only wired to do one thing at a time. This is how we have been designed. Notice now, we're living in this modern world that has a ton of different distractions, a ton of different options, trillions of channels, trillions of options at the grocery store, trillions of social media, networks and channels and all these different things. And a lot of these things are new inventions that's not always designed based upon our own evolutionary process. When we were created to deal with one thing at one time, right? Things didn't operate as sporadically as they do now. We have not evolved physically into a multitasking existence. But when you do all of these things, guess what happens? Your brain doesn't adapt and it actually becomes damaged, right? So if you want to become successful, you have to always err on the side of how your brain is actually wired. When you operate in this one thing mentality, you actually achieve what's known as the state of flow, right? You have this famous author named Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi, which stated that when somebody is in a state of flow, they are so engaged in what they're doing, it's like time stops. They are in their zone, right? And they're doing the exact thing that they should be doing. Imagine if you were coming out and you were writing a book. Could you write a book, honestly, if here it is, you're typing at the keyboard, you're, dealing with a baby somewhere that's crying in another room, You got the music blasting, you got the TV going, you're thinking about what you're going to do later tonight, you're taking these phone calls, all of these things are happening. Are you going to have your life's greatest work? Who's more liable to have their greatest work if the same two people were writing a book? The person that's writing a book while doing 20 other things, or the person that's writing a book because that's the number one thing that they want accomplished in their life? I know who I'm putting my bet money on. I'm putting my bet money on the right person, right? A lot of these things, as we kind of start breaking it down, it seems like more of common sense, but we have to make these things common practice. We have to start taking out some of the distractions in our lives that's taking us away from the true results that we want to get. There is no such thing as multitasking. Your brain, in the genetic makeup of your brain, in your brain's physiology, your brain cannot process two things at once. At best, what you're doing is your brain is just quickly switching from one state into another. So, if you're typing to somebody, you're talking to somebody in the room, maybe your brain is just shifting fairly rapid from one thing to another. But again, you're damaging your brain while you're doing that because there is no such thing as multitasking. Okay? So I want to do a quick review over some of the things that we've discussed in terms of Productivity 101. It's about doing a million things versus doing one thing. There was this famous quote that I heard from Bruce Lee where he said, I don't fear the man that studied 1,000 kicks. He said, I don't fear the man that's practiced 1,000 kicks. He said, I fear the man that's practiced one kick 1,000 times. See, that's a big difference. There's a big difference between doing 1,000 things and doing one thing well 1,000 times. See, and I think that he was on to something when he said that, because there's so many people who've yet to realize that in order to reach world-class success, you have to put in 10,000 plus hours at what you're doing. So here's the question. Can you put in 10,000 hours at a million things? Or can you put in 10,000 hours primarily in one thing? Right? What does the math say? Our lives are short. What does the math say? All of the data leads to one thing: major results, major impact, the importance of focus, right? Doing the hardest thing first. Your brain was wired to take on work this way. And if you are not taking on work this way, guess what? You're hurting yourself. So we can talk about things like having to-do lists in order. We can talk about having the right schedule. But if you don't have the right mental framework on how to actually order your life, you'll never have maximum productivity. Anyone that's going to be highly productive must know that in order to be the number one most productive person, you have to already work on sharpening the saw and having the vision first. You have to have a thinker, and then you have to be a thinker, and you have to channel all of your energy in the right place to get the right results. So what I want you to do is I want you to leave me a comment. I want you to tell me, what do you think about being the everything person versus being the right person? I know this video may seem somewhat of a surprise to you because maybe you always thought productivity meant being the everything person. But look at the results that comes from the everything person. If you were to look objectively at both people, which life would you want to have? Would you want to be the person that wakes up every single day with a million things to do, always being busy, running around like a chicken with their head cut off, doing the easiest things and then putting off the most meaningful things? You might say, oh yeah, I got a lot done today. But then this person, when you ask them, okay, what did you get done? They say, oh, well, I went to the store and I bought this. This person says, I finished my book. I finished this report. I just made a breakthrough in the gym. What types of results do you want to get? What quality and what caliber of results are you looking for? Are you looking for everything person results, or are you looking for right person results? When it comes to what you want to be known for in your life, when it's all said and done, do you want your tombstone to read, this person was okay, average, mediocre at a million things? Or do you want your tombstone to say, world's greatest this, world's greatest that? This depends on what your success mentality is. I don't know about you, but the reason why I made this channel for real life success is so that way when it's all said and done, you can be one of the world's greatest performers at what you do. So you got to be the right person. All of these tools I'm making for you at your disposal, so that way you don't go through life in a daze. That way you go through your life with a purpose, and you've given a life that's well lived.